We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous.
High School Famous Podcast.
Don't worry about it.
I don't think that's how the song goes.
I know, but I wanted to be free of any legal matters.
That's it. Is that the end of that sentence?
Yep.
Very well. And why are you wearing glasses right now? Are those your science-y specs from that one costume that one time, aren't they? Because they're all like scratched.
Yeah, I'm also wearing the lab coat from that costume. And until earlier this evening while we were out trick-or-treating, I was wearing the bow tie, which decided to break on me, my 20-year-old bow tie. And I modified my work badge to be Merle A. Dexmeyer, scientist at Science Corp.
Gotcha.
So
you even took a little photo and printed it out there.
Yeah,
Nice.
I went all out. I just didn't wear the wig, so I didn't feel like wearing the wig anymore. So
Lovely.
I wore this to work today. It's Halloween, so I dressed up in a costume for Halloween.
I dress up in a costume every day at work.
Sure.
It's called a uniform.
You wear a uniform?
Mm-hmm.
You really have a work uniform?
Mm-hmm.
What's it consist of?
It's just like a gray shirt and gray pants. They're just like shop
clothes.
Okay.
Okay.
Because otherwise I would have gone through so many pairs of pants and shirts at this point at that job.
I had no idea.
Getting oil and shit all over me.
I thought that you just wore your street clothes to work.
Nope.
I didn't know that you were that professional.
Is it professional to wear a uniform?
I mean, it's more professional than not wearing a uniform, I would say.
So you're not professional because you don't wear a uniform?
No, we are quite cash. Quite cash at this place.
Good to know.
Well, the one...
Note of that.
So, at the moment of... what's going on here? My system has run out of application memory. To avoid problems with your computer, quit any applications you're not using. Weird.
This is riveting stuff.
I know. Close that. Yep. Let me close stuff.
So before we get too deep into anything like super interesting this episode, there's a couple of things I wanted to mention.
Mm-hmm.
First off, anybody who listened to last week's episode, when it was first dropped and noticed that it randomly cut off at like the last 4 minutes, no clue why it did that. It should be fixed now. I fixed it that same night, but I had to literally like delete the entire thing and re-upload it because I could not figure out for the life of me why it was doing that, because the file and everything seemed like it was fine. I think it was a Libsyn thing. For some reason it cut it off, but it should be fixed now. So if you haven't gone back and you want to catch the last few minutes of it, you should be able to jump on and do that. I think there's a couple moments in that last couple of minutes that are pretty funny, as far as I think anyway. But and then secondly, and I meant to mention this last week actually, and this will hopefully be the last time I mention the 100th episode.
Oh no.
There's a clip in there that I'm like irritated with myself about. So there's the clip where we start talking about basically trying to get somebody down from jumping off a roof or trying to get somebody to release hostages.
Sure.
Early in that clip, I jokingly tried to get you to say a phrase so that I could clip it and basically say like, yeah, you did say it, ha ha.
Okay.
And you said, oh, you'd be really good at interrogating. And I immediately, for some reason, took interrogating and just started talking about negotiators.
Ah, yes.
And I didn't notice it until I listened back to it a couple times. I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, where my brain just went complete negotiator, dropped the entire interrogator thing altogether.
I don't remember.
And then even mentioned the word negotiator after that. So I don't know what happened, but it's something I noticed. I'm like, what an idiot.
I don't remember if I noticed that at the time or not.
I don't think you did, because you were just like going along with my storyline of just like, Yeah. So
I'm like, maybe he just.
it's just a dumb little thing I noticed.
Maybe I was like, maybe he doesn't know what interrogating means, and I'm just gonna.
And the funny thing is like, who knows if anybody noticed it other than me?
They may. I mean, I might have on a listen through, perhaps, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't really. It didn't keep me up at night.
There's plenty of other stuff to do that.
You got it. What like what?
But,
like what are some things to do that?
That can keep you up at night. I mean, loud noises, burglar, just stress and like
Food poisoning.
Just food poisoning for sure. Working the night shift.
Yes, you are required.
You better be up at night.
You're required to be up at night for the night shift. Yes.
Yeah.
I have experience with that.
Sleep deprivation therapy. Is that a thing?
It might be part of a study.
Sleep paralysis. Are you awake for sleep paralysis?
I think,
or is that when you're just like asleep and you can't be awoken or moved or I don't know.
I think I just heard someone describe this. And I think it's where it's like you can't move, but I think you're still asleep, but you want to wake up to try to have someone help you, or I forget what they said. It was not quite clear. I think that.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah, I brought it up. Yes, I brought up.
Brought up that you like thought you knew what it meant.
Well, I'm glad you asked what it means.
Like, I'm pretty sure that I know what it is, but I don't recall
what it is. Yeah,
if I actually know. So it's like, then you don't know.
If you want to know, you can ask Dana Carvey and Sheryl Crow, because those are the two people that were talking about it.
Well, and when I want to go and get important facts about things, those two people are the first names that always pop up in my brain.
Exactly.
I haven't thought about Sheryl Crow in fucking decades.
You know why I think about Sheryl Crow?
Why is that?
Because it makes me happy. And if it makes you happy, it can't be that bad.
That's what they say.
That's what she says. That's what she said.
Yeah.
That's what she said, and that's what she says. It's the best that's what she said ever.
It's like that's what she said Inception.
Kind of. That's what she septioned. Well, how was your Halloween, Matt?
You're like, well, we're out.
Well, we're done.
George Costanza out of the situation.
Yeah, I guess if you want to count that as a high note, I don't know if I would.
I mean, it might be a high note at this point of 9 minutes in.
Almost 10.
It's the high point of the first 9 minutes.
It could be
You say almost 10, Sean, but I've gotten pretty good at tightening these episodes up.
You're right. So you're right.
It might be 6.
It could be 4.
It might be -3.
Although I'm trying to make it so we don't have awkward silences. So
that honestly, you just humming to not have awkward silence is way worse than just having awkward silence.
Why do you say that?
Because then people are just going to hear long chunks of you humming.
Hurry up and say something. I'm running out of air.
God damn it, no, because I don't want to keep that in. I don't want to keep that quietness in.
You do or don't?
Anyway, no, I don't. I'm tired of having
but that won't
silences that I have to make sure I leave in.
That won't show up as a silence. That will show up as audio.
I couldn't hear you humming at all.
I did.
It trailed off immediately.
I heard it, and I'm feeding my own audio and your audio back into my ears, and I heard it in my ears. So it's there.
Well, because you probably have your volume way higher than mine.
I don't know what it...
Because my headphones tend to like to bleed into my microphone.
Which is weird, because these headphones, yours look like they're nicer than mine. So I'm curious.
Mine are much older.
Oh, that could be it.
So they might just not have as good a technology.
So, yes, mine are the same brand as our microphones.
Yeah, I might have to pick me up some of those.
Yeah, if they were like
$50
bucks. Yeah. And they're definitely not high-end headphones. You can spend a good amount on headphones if you really wanted to. I was not willing to do that. So,
no.
But these have been plenty.
I'm not either.
These have been plenty awesome for the price. I've got no complaints.
These headphones were awesome when I first got them because they're Bluetooth.
Yeah.
But the charging port on them will not connect anymore.
Oh.
I think it has like a loose solder in it or something, and I was looking at trying to figure out how to take them apart to resolder it, but I cannot figure out how to take them apart without just destroying them. So
I got these specifically because they are not Bluetooth. They're full on wired. But I noticed if you're shopping for headphones like this, you get into a much higher price range once you want to have a pair where you can remove the cord from the headphones itself.
Even though they won't work without it.
Right. But it's like, I think it's where if the cable breaks, you can replace the cable. Where for me, if something goes wrong with the cable, the headphones themselves are shot too. I have to replace the whole thing. I think that's why you go up into a higher price tier to get headphones with the removable cable.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so I that was the one thing I was not super pleased about with these. But again,
but if I
take care of them, I mean,
even if you get a year out of them, it was $50.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, I'm not, I don't do anything rough with these. When I'm not talking to you, I hang them up. I hang them up on my mic arm.
You're not out doing like woodworking while wearing your headphones, or
I'm not out
chopping down a
tree.
I'm
not out operating a jackhammer. I'm not going into burning buildings.
Machinery.
I'm not operating machinery of any weight at all.
Yeah.
So Matt, did you do anything festive for Halloween?
Not a single
All
thing.
Hallows Eve?
Nope. I was just kind of home all weekend, and then I had work today. So you were. I'm just learning that you have to wear a uniform, a term used loosely, to work. You have a dress code, you have a specific outfit you have to wear. We'll call it an outfit, not a uniform. Call it a gown.
We'll call it a gown. You have to wear a ball gown every day to work. If you wanted to, on Halloween, would you be allowed to wear a costume or something other than your required attire?
Oh, yeah. So the thing is like the uniform isn't even like, we're not really required to wear it. It's there for us to not wreck our own clothes. So they provide us with uniforms so that we can not wreck our own clothes. Because most of the people, like especially in the wintertime, it can be colder in certain parts of the building. Yeah. People wear sweatshirts or whatever. In the summer, they'll wear shorts. So yeah, it's not like a required thing to wear it. It's just hey, you probably don't want to wreck your own clothes coming in every day. So here's this uniform.
That is pretty generous and considerate of your company.
And here you were shitting all over my beautiful work gown.
Yeah, is it, so you said it's a gray pants and a gray shirt?
Gray. Yeah, gray on gray. It's all the rage.
Does it have like a name badge with your name stitched into it?
It has my name on it. Okay. And it has the work logo on it.
That is official.
I have 11 pairs of shirt pants.
Wow. 11.
Because they're provided by a company, so they come by once a week and take the dirty ones and wash them. So they give you 11, so there's a rollover.
When I worked at the juice factory, the
J-Fac?
Yeah, the J-Fac. We also had a tire that was provided. I only remember having one set, like one shirt and one pair of pants, but that couldn't have been right. Maybe it was.
You had to have had more, because weren't they white?
They were white.
Which is the dumbest thing at a juice factory. Those things had to constantly be getting stained.
But I don't remember, maybe I didn't work there long enough to really have this be an issue.
To acquire more than one?
No, I just don't remember. I'm trying to remember.
They give you one every couple months.
I'm just trying to remember if we had something like what you have where there's like a laundering service for them too, where they'll take them, clean them.
Yeah, it just depends on, I guess, on... they would probably have had to have gone through a uniform service.
It was through a service, because I remember...
Oh, yeah, then they would wash them and everything. Yeah,
I remember
you put them in like a bin. And,
you know what? There was a bin. You're right. Okay, this is all coming back to me now. There was a place to dump the dirty...
Wow, more song lyrics.
Yeah, but not the same artist.
No. Different
that
woman.
That was, what, Celine Dion?
Maybe.
Yes, Celine Dion. Yeah. But I remember the time that they came where we got to pick out our steel-toed boots for the job.
I had a job that did that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Because my job is not like, awesome. There's no specific required footwear, but one of my customers, I have to have steel-toe boots or steel-toe something.
Gotcha.
Shoes or whatever. So I mentioned that to to my boss once. I'm like, oh, I guess apparently I'm supposed to wear steel toes there. And he's like, okay, well, tell so-and-so to go order you some. I'm like, oh, that's not why I mentioned it. I just mentioned it as a kind of in passing, like, oh, I have to wear steel toes.
So then you went over.
And he's like, yeah, have him order you some. So I'm like, cool. But those boots are dead and gone. So I bought my own pair of steel toes that are needing to be replaced again already too.
So then you went over and you talked to so-and-so. And so placed an order.
I'm just not mentioning names.
It was Brad, wasn't it?
Nope.
It was Broad. It was Broad, wasn't it?
It was Bort.
It was Bort. Sorry, my son is also named Bort.
That's going to be my one and only Simpsons reference ever on this show.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Yeah. All Simpsons and Seinfeld references will be provided by Sean.
Except for Bort.
Except for Bort. I mean, going forward, all Seinfeld will always be
You don't think you'll ever throw in a Seinfeld reference?
I highly doubt it, because the only ones I would know are, like, the ones that everybody knows.
So you're never going to chime in and say, the jerk store called and they're running out of you?
You know what's
That's
funny?
the one thing you were thinking of?
Minutes earlier in this episode, I literally said that you pulled a Costanza.
You did?
Yeah, when you're like, well, and I'm like, yeah, we're out.
Oh, going on. No, you're right. Going on a high note.
So,
all right. Yes. After you contradicted yourself.
God damn it!
Later. Wow, this is episode.
This 102. This is a gem of. This is the gem of an episode where I made both a Seinfeld and a Simpson reference in the same episode. This is really bringing my energy.
I feel like I can't even say anything the rest of the time. I feel like you just have to go on and continue with more unexpected references, and I can't get in your way.
All right.
I can't get in your way.
I'm just trying to think of other shows that you are so hard on for that I don't watch, because we got the two main S's. Wasn't there other S shows that you were super into that I didn't watch?
S shows. I can't think of any.
Were you super into Scrubs?
No,
I watched quite a bit of Scrubs actually.
I only watched Scrubs the last couple years because I started listening to their rewatch podcast, and it made me want to actually watch the show. I had never watched it before.
I think the first so many seasons of that show were fun, and then towards the end, I was kind of done with it. That's kind of a lot of shows.
Yeah, shows. I mean, it ran 8. Well, it technically ran 9 seasons, but a lot of people consider
8
season
with the
8,
regular cast.
Yeah, a lot of people consider season 8 the final real Scrubs season, because it seemed like and I only watched I want to say maybe the first 2 episodes tops of the 9th season, and I was like, I don't want to watch any more of this.
I never touched the 9th season at all. It was to me, it was kind of like, Saved by the Bell, the college years.
Yeah, it's kind of like it could have
why
it could have been its completely own show, but they wanted to sort of have it keep along with the Scrubs.
They wanted to piggyback it, yeah.
Yes. So it's like they were trying to make a completely different doctor show, but just have the audience inherited from the Scrubs show. So
I mean, I get what they were trying to do, but as soon as all that cast that you've watched and grown with over the years, all of a sudden they're gone and you're still trying to watch this show, it's like, I don't like any of these people.
I think that's
why.
Yeah, I don't know if Donald Faison was in the entire 9th season, but I think he's someone who's stuck around, because I believe that Zach Braff was in, and maybe even Sarah Chalk. I think they were just in the first episode of the 9th season, just to be like, oh, our lives are different now. Bye.
Yeah.
But
handing off the reins to the next.
Yeah. But I feel like, at least what I've heard them gab on about on this podcast, is that maybe Donald Faison was on there, maybe not through the whole season, but maybe he was there maybe a lot longer, maybe halfway through it or something, who knows. But yeah, so that's what got me to watch Scrubs, really. I know that at your guys' first apartment there in Rogers, that was kind of when it was starting out, or at least, or maybe it was just kind of hitting its stride. But I know that was. I don't remember when it ran from. I think that I remember catching it kind of on the background. Yeah, I think it was one of those shows that was always just kind of on, and you'd watch it if you caught it. Well, that was Scrubs. True. But so that's not one of my S shows that I would always
So it's probably just Simpsons and
Probably
Seinfeld.
just Simpsons and Seinfeld. I'm really having a hard time thinking of another show that starts with the letter S that I can even, like, of all shows.
In general, not
even ones that I watched.
Not even something that you maybe watched.
Yeah.
Spin City.
Wow. Same creative team then as Scrubs.
Was it really?
Yeah, Bill Lawrence.
Oh.
He created
I'm just
Spin
trying to
City.
think of any other S show.
He also created Cougar Town.
Suddenly Susan. That was a TV show for a while.
I think I watched a little bit of that. Who was in that show? Was that
I think it was Brooke Shields.
Oh yeah, maybe not. But
was that Brooke Shields?
I did think of Step by Step earlier. But that's not a
there's another S
That's
show.
not a show that I can quote anything from. I haven't, I didn't watch it enough to, or it didn't like, hit me enough to really know any lines from it.
It was just another family sitcom.
It was one of those TGIF,
crap.
shows that, was on.
Yep.
It was on.
I mean, it definitely existed at one point.
Yeah. Oh, golly. So you did nothing fun for Halloween.
No, I didn't do a damn thing. I sat at home trying to think of what I actually even did this weekend, because it wasn't much. I watched a lot of Attack on Titan because that was a show I was always meaning to watch and never watched it. So I did. And I was all excited because it's on the final season. And I'm like, and the last episode aired in April. So I'm like, oh, cool. I'm actually going to finish the show. And then the last episode's airing. I'm like, they got kind of a lot to tie up here. It's going to be a pretty crazy last episode. And the episode ends. I'm like, what the fuck? And I look up, I'm like looking up stuff about it. And it's like the third and final part of the final season will start airing in 2023. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Oh, really?
Like the season was already, so like the first season was like 25 episodes. Then the second season was like 12 or 13. For some reason, it was much shorter. The third season was like 24. And the last one's already 28. And now there's a third part of the last season that's going to be coming out next year. So I'm just like, son of a bitch. So now I have to wait to watch it. I was kind of excited it's like every once in a while I get excited about binge watching something.
Yeah.
And now I've got to wait. It's a pretty crazy show though.
So
You'd hate it because it's anime.
Yeah, I can't get into it. So the
story's cool.
So you're upset that the show isn't over.
Well, I'm upset that I just burnt through the entire show and now I have to, like, I was all excited about it and now I have to wait for the next chunk. And it's one of those shows that is released weekly. Okay. So I will have to slowly watch it, which is fine. I was just kind of like excited to burn through the show. And then all of a sudden now I'm left hanging a little bit, which I wasn't expecting, but it's fine. I'll get over it.
I mean, you're just going to,
it wasn't,
you're just going to have to hold out a little bit longer. You can't.
I mean, you can't just fucking edging over here.
Yeah, you can't finish quite yet.
Yeah, you know me. I'm all about finishing.
It's true.
I'm a closer. I like to. Coffee's for closers, Sean.
It is, but are you after? Is that your main objective? Is to get coffee?
No.
Is that your main motivator?
I think. I need the release.
You're like, yeah, fine. I'll have sex with you, but only if I get coffee afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes depending, you might need the coffee ahead of before.
I don't drink coffee, so
I don't either. But I'm saying, like, if coffee is the reward, if coffee is the only thing you're getting out of it in that situation, you probably need it ahead of time.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So coffee gives you an erection?
No. Isn't coffee actually like bad for like erections? Isn't it like it's a depressant, isn't it?
I think so. Again, I don't drink coffee, so
it's one of those.
I don't drink coffee, so I don't read about it either.
I mean, well, it's either a stimulant or a depressant, and I know that I think.
Well, if people use it to get energy, I would say it's a stimulant.
I know, but they're getting the energy out of the caffeine.
So you're talking about like the coffee bean itself.
I think maybe the coffee itself might be a depressant. I'm probably talking completely out of my ass right now, and I have no idea.
Well, if you are, you're very good at matching what's coming out of your ass with your mouth and movements. It's because it sounds like you're talking out of your mouth. Or, I mean, it looks that way anyway. So you've mastered matching your mouth.
Ventriloquism.
Yeah, it's astriloquism.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So Saturday, I played Blue Ribbon Pines,
right,
with a few people we know, Josh, Jim, and Mike.
Mhm.
And, that was only like a 4-hour ordeal. Wasn't crazy.
Just 4 hours.
Just about. Well, you got a 27-hole course. It's not going to go quick.
Why are their courses so big?
Well, that's a really...
Whatever happened to a regular 18-hole course?
That one... Well, Blue River Pines. You've played it before.
Is that where we did Mustache Aviator?
We did at least one of them there. There's been a few there, I think. Yeah.
That's the one that has the third hole maybe or fourth hole or something. Is that really long, narrow with trees lining it? Yeah. That is a big course.
Yeah, it's huge, and apparently it's like world famous. I did not know that.
Yeah, I know there's been like a lot of tournaments there and stuff, like big tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, so people will travel from at least all over the country to come to play it. And sometimes I'm sure even other parts of the world have come just to play that to kind of check it off their list.
It's funny. I have actually played that course a couple of times, but it's also been a long time. But literally the only hole I actually recall is that narrow tree-lined hole.
I mean, it's
a tough hole.
Well, here's the thing. It's hard to... First of all, a lot of the holes are not like memorable. Like that is one that stands out as it'll stick in your mind. But secondly, there are so many holes on that course that it's going to be hard to remember because there's just so many of them. But yeah, there's nothing like, it's not like well, I suppose this maybe is the same because there's only one, but hole 11 on Bryant Lake is that one on the top of that giant hill.
I love that hole.
Right. The one that should close out the course. That should be the final hole of the course, but
oh, hell yeah. Yeah, because then the one, like the hole after that's just
lame,
short and boring.
It's slightly uphill, so it's not that long, but it's hard to throw for it because it's uphill. Yeah,
that downhill one's great though because it just makes it seem like you just
throw forever.
Have such a long ass throw.
Yeah. So that's another one where it's just that one memorable hole that everyone knows. Yeah.
There's a couple from that one that I remember that course a bit more because it's probably the course I played the most though.
Yeah, we played that one a lot.
But I definitely remember. Yeah, I remember the hole where you have to kind of throw over the pond that we've all probably lost many a disc to.
Yes.
Then I remember. I think it's on the back 9, or is that only a 9 hole, or is that a 18?
It started off.
Or is it a 15?
When we started playing, I believe it was 12, but it got bumped up to 18 now because they added holes to it because they put more holes there for a tournament specifically, and then I think it just stayed that way.
Okay. I do remember one on the back half though that's kind of slightly up a hill, and there's like only like 3 or 4 trees, but they're kind of weirdly placed that they're really hard to kind of get around. But, I mean, a lot's probably changed since I've last played there, too, but...
Yeah.
I recall a couple holes from that one.
That's a course I say it's dumb but pretty. Like,
it's not a hard course.
Everything's maintained really well, and everything looks really, really nice. But, the holes there's a lot of them that are just sort of, like, out in the open, and there's nothing to throw around. And
yeah. It's a good practice course for sure. Yeah. Of just getting out and throwing practicing shots. And
that was the first course that I had ever played.
Probably the same for me.
But so then after that, I went home and I really was like, I'm like, it's Halloween weekend. I'm free. I should probably go out and do something because I love going out for Halloween, but I was also like tired from playing all that disc golf, and I'm like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. So I slapped on this costume and I went out. I knew there was someone I know that was in this group that was singing at this place in, I forget how to pronounce it, Vadnais Heights or whatever. Okay. So I went out there and checked it out. There was apparently a costume contest going on, and so I found myself in the middle of that, and I did not even come close to getting enough applause to be in the top 3. I wasn't dressed as Belle from Beauty and the Beast, or a man dressed as a woman just claiming to be Mrs. Doubtfire, even though it was really just a man in like an old woman costume. And then I also wasn't dressed as Cruella de Vil. Those were the winners.
Yeah. I remember, so when we went to that costume party, and I think we've briefly talked about this, we went to that costume.
You found,
it was a Halloween thing at first.
Yeah, you found the tickets in the vest. Yeah.
There was somebody dressed as, they had that full like mech suit thing from the game BioShock, I think is the game. And I think that it's called like a like a Big Daddy or something or something like that, but it was this full like bubble suit like mech thing.
Yeah.
I'd have to show you pictures of it if you recall what it would look like at all. But people at that place had some crazy costumes.
The one that
I think there was a costume competition there too that night.
Yeah, I think so. And I remember they had it where when you showed up, and I must have shown up too late for this, but they could take your picture and then put it up on the screens. So the screens kept cycling through just photos of people that were at the party in their costumes.
Gotcha.
I just remember there being somebody was in a Lego. They were like a Lego minifigure, but they had like a giant like yellow Lego head.
Right.
And that's the costume I remember there. It was pretty cool. I don't remember this one you're describing though. Maybe I do,
look up,
but maybe I don't.
I have to look it up and like send you a picture of what the thing actually looked like.
What was Iman as that year?
That would have been her character Snickerfoot, I believe, where she was like a pimp or something.
Got it. A very PC costume.
Yeah, I'm sending you an image.
And you know what? I was a cop. I should have arrested her.
Yeah. So I'm sending you an image of what it was called a Big Daddy from the game BioShock. I was right. But somebody was dressed as this thing.
Whoa.
You don't recall somebody walking around in that thing?
I do not.
It was awesome.
I do.
If anybody's curious, just Google Big Daddy.
Yeah, that's what you should do. Only those two words.
Yeah, leave out the BioShock.
You'll find exactly what Matt just showed me.
Yeah. No, Google BioShock Big Daddy and go to images. It was the first image I pulled up, and there was somebody that was dressed as that thing, and this was in whatever year I had mentioned in a previous episode.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess it was like 2008.
It was like 8 or 7 or
9.
It was somewhere in the
10.
somewhere in the aughts.
So before 2010, guaranteed.
Yeah,
guaranteed before 2010.
But yeah, I don't know. I did that. I watched a lot of that. I've started working on some music, so I've been dinking around with some tracks. I have one song that I had been kind of playing around with for a few years now, and I was never really super happy with it. And I found this website where people share loops that they create and stuff, so that you can just use for things. So I found some drum loops.
Okay.
That's where I was always kind of upset with the song, was the drum loop or the drum beat I had with it.
Sure. So
I found some kind of cool drum loops. Kind of rebuilt it based on that. I like it a lot more now, but I'm still tweaking it. And then there's a new track that I started dinking around with.
So if you find yourself
that I'm pretty happy with so far,
if you find yourself on this website a lot, like spending a lot of time looking and listening to a lot of different loops, do you say that you've gone down the loophole?
I would never.
You've claimed that before about other things.
That I would never?
Yeah, and I think you
like
would.
What?
I don't remember. I just remember hearing you say that before.
I feel like we're both very low energy right now. You look like you could pass out at any moment.
Well, you know, I had a very very nonstop go day.
Yeah.
I can describe it.
No.
Okay, good.
Please don't.
All right. And then one of the houses we went to trick-or-treating this evening, they had a cooler out front, and they're like, hey, yeah, for adults, there's a cooler. So I grabbed a large can of some type of beer, and I drank that while trick-or-treating. And so
you're a beer drinker now?
No, but it was, I felt a little like oddly obligated, like, oh, they're offering, I'll grab one.
Sean,
but it really,
you're 40 years old.
So
peer pressure should not be working on you now.
No, it's not peer pressure. It was kind of like,
dude,
no,
pussy.
No, that's not what I
drink the beer.
That's
pussy.
not what I said at all. I just felt slightly obliged to, take advantage of their generosity by just taking one. But yeah, it was disgusting. I'm definitely not. And this was some sort of, it wasn't like a Coors Light. It was some sort of, IPA something or other. And
yeah,
I just can't. I can't.
No.
I can't like enjoy beer. I'll never enjoy drinking beer. I don't.
No, it's you either love it or you hate it. I've
tasted it.
Hate it.
I've tasted it. I could guarantee you that the people that quote unquote love it don't love it. If you love something that tastes that gross, then there's something wrong with you.
So, but that's the thing. That's the thing is like, it doesn't taste that same way to everybody. To a lot of people, beer tastes good. We've had this discussion before, I don't think on here, but it's like there's a certain genetic thing that you either have or don't have that either it's gonna make beer taste horrible to you or you're going to like it.
But we know people that did not like beer that when they like a lot
and they learned how they
learned
there's also
to like
that
it
if you drink it enough you learn. Yeah, but I think it's awful. I've tasted several different beers. I think they all taste exactly the same to me.
Yeah.
And I absolutely hate it, but I don't know. There's a thing that some people, it works for them and I don't get it. I'll never know. I would absolutely love to know how good it tastes to them. Like if somebody's literally like, oh, this has got fruity notes and this and that. It's like, I literally just taste the same bitter crap every single time I drink. It's just like watered down nasty every time I drink any beer, but there's something in it that I'm allergic to. So that is my best excuse ever to never drink it. So I'm happy.
See, that's why I drink cider, hard cider when I drink.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Literally almost never drink.
Yeah.
I literally haven't had a single sip of alcohol in over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not often for me. I can buy
I just don't
like
care.
if I buy a 12 pack of something or even a 6-pack of something, it can last me months where it's like,
oh dude, when you came out and I had bought a bunch of cider.
Yeah.
That cider lasted forever. It sat in my fridge for a long time.
Well, part of it was I think the one night where we were going to like get crazy, we were all so tired by the time I got there and we're like settled in that nothing got off the ground. We were just like all ready to pass out.
We're just like, okay.
And so
yeah, because you got in pretty late that night.
Yeah, and then
I think it was like almost. Well, it wasn't super late, but it was around 10 or so. I think, wasn't it?
Something at least.
But I think we had all worked that day too.
Yeah, I think I started because that's why I got there so late. Is because I think I started heading there after work.
You came after work.
So, and then I remember either the next.
I mean, we were only 38.
I know, so young. But it must have been the next day, maybe or maybe it was the day after. It was probably a Saturday. But we were gonna like just sort of walk around and sort of day drink, and that. Unless
I think that was the day I felt like shit that day.
Yeah,
too.
So you weren't really partaking much.
I was fucking out of it that day.
Yeah, and then if you're not like I definitely wasn't drinking often enough to quote unquote day drink properly, I guess. So, nothing was really going on there either.
Yeah, plus we were walking around a lot and it was really hot that day.
Yeah, we were walking around. We stopped a couple of times and went into I remember this one place we went into. But yeah, we didn't
that one bar that was like not super packed, but yet extremely loud.
Very loud. Yeah. The music was
like we were off. Yeah. We were kind of off to ourselves in like that little corner kind of and still like yelling at each other. And there was nobody near us.
Yeah. There was a small group of people, over to the side that were like having a little dance party. But yeah, we were just kind of sitting at our table trying to talk to each other. Having a real hard time.
And that was like midday. And those people were having a time. Yeah.
It was like 2 p.m. or something on a Saturday.
Well, it was well, that was Labor Day weekend too, I think. So that, people were out partying. That was that Labor Day weekend you came out.
I came there Labor Day weekend? That's in September.
So yeah, it was a Labor Day weekend you came out. Yeah, so that's why, people were out and about that whole weekend and really partying. But it was like, it was like barely afternoon.
So since at
that point,
since I started drinking in my life after you had already kind of been done with it, I don't think we haven't had we haven't gotten really drunk together.
Yeah, no, we've never gotten drunk together. I think we got a little bit buzzed one of the nights.
Well, so what is buzzed and what is drunk? Because maybe I only just get buzzed. I don't know. I kind of get to my little happy level and then I know I stay there. So.
I guess, yeah.
I've been to the point where I stumble a little bit when I'm walking and.
Yeah, that's technically drunk, I guess.
Yeah, so I've gotten there, but it's not to the point where I've never felt sick or even come close.
You've never blacked out?
Not even close, no.
Yeah, I have blacked out one time in my life.
Yeah.
And that was the last time I was actually like super drunk. Like I've been like a little drunk since, which is maybe a little stumbly, definitely way more chatty and like everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, my 26th birthday, that was the first and last time I've ever gotten blackout drunk. And after that night, I was like, I don't ever want to feel like that ever again. And that was kind of the downfall, and not so much complete end of me drinking, but that was definitely where I
slowed down
way back. Yeah, I never really drank a ton after that.
Yeah, I mean, you got a place you don't want to be. You don't want to get. You don't want to reach that. So you're gonna do what you can to make sure you don't.
I hate the feeling of not being in control of myself.
Yeah,
that like freaks me out and gives me like crazy anxiety, because that time at Mark's when I came out and we actually all played D&D in person, minus Eric, because of course the one time I was in town and we were going to game, we all couldn't get together.
Right.
But yeah, I had gotten really, really high before you showed up.
Right. Yep. We talked about this.
I don't think we talked about it on here. We talked about it when we were playing D&D. We didn't talk about it on the podcast. Okay,
that's right.
Or probably one of the times we were supposed to play D&D but didn't.
Yeah.
Which is 90% of the time.
Lately.
Lately there's been no attempt. But no, I had gotten really stoned for the first time in my life. I was only 38. And it was so quick that I immediately got super anxious and like kind of almost was having a panic attack, because I was immediately like, I had no control over certain things. Like my brain was just doing things that I couldn't stop it from doing.
Yeah.
And that freaked me out. So immediately right there, I'm like, I do not like smoking pot, because smoking pot, you get high very quickly.
Sure.
Edibles are nice because it's a nice gradual high. Like it just slowly kind of comes up and then you just kind of feel nice.
Isn't there a potential though, that you'll like have way more than you know? Like you don't know exactly how much you're going to have if you have an edible? Or is that only if it's someone's like baking something crazy?
Yeah. If you're getting it through if you're getting it from a source that's not regulated, yeah, you don't know how much you should take.
Sure.
But the only edibles I've ever done are from a dispensary.
Oh, so that's all pretty well regulated.
Yeah, they're regulated of like, it's this many milligrams or whatever of this, and it's this dosage and stuff. So I can pop a full edible and it's just kind of a nice, like, chill thing. Yeah. Except for one time I did one and the next day I still felt really high, like the entire day. I'm like,
wow.
Yeah, I don't know if that was just in my head or I was just feeling weird that day, but I literally felt high like the entire next day at work. And I'm like, well, I'm never doing an edible the day before I have to go back to work. So now it's like, if I do an edible, it's only on a Friday or only on a Saturday. Like I'm such a like bitch when it comes to getting high at this point, because I'm just like, I can only do it Fridays and Saturdays, and I have to be in the comfort of my own home and nobody touch me or talk to me.
Let me check my calendar to see if I can.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not a good day for me. We've got a shipment coming in or something.
Well, literally, like the last time I got high now was a few months back, and it was not got high and then some shit went down. And like since then, I'm just like, I have no appeal to get high now. I'm just like, every time I think about it, I'm just like, it just sounds awful. So I don't know. I'm so weird in my as I'm getting older.
All you gotta do is just plan it so that you don't work the next day, and also that nothing else will happen.
Just sit quietly in a dark room with no noise.
You gotta come here to Minnesota and go in that place that has like the quietest room on the planet or whatever it is.
Oh yeah. Dude, those rooms are apparently like freaky though. Like
people start to like lose it, you know.
Yeah, after a while you start to kind of go crazy because there's no noise at all.
Yeah, I don't.
I'd be interested to see how long I could sit in a room like that.
I would too, because of course you sit there and you think, well, I could do that, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
but it's also like people going into, like, if someone's in prison, then they have to go into solitary confinement for whatever reason. Like people go crazy even from that, and so I know I would probably go nuts too, even though I think I wouldn't.
I'm just curious I'm just curious as to how long I would sit in there before I started to feel really weird.
Well, the problem is you probably
honestly, it probably wouldn't take very long.
Well, you probably have no way to track time either when you're in there. So you might think,
unless you're counting.
Yeah. So it might feel like, oh, I've lasted probably 12 hours and it's been like 40 minutes.
Yeah. This could have been 5 minutes or 5 years. I have no idea how long I've been in
But
here.
either way, I'm crazy now.
Yeah, it's kind of just like self-torture at that point. It's like, I think it'd be interesting to know what the experience was like, but then at the same time, it's like, but do I want to put myself through something that I don't need to put myself through? It's like skydiving. I always thought it'd be cool to go skydiving. As soon as I turned like 30, I'm like, I'm past the age of like, I'm not purposely putting my life at risk when I don't need to for things. It's like, so that's the way I look at it now. It's like, if I was going to skydive, I would have done it in my 20s.
Yeah.
I think it would be an interesting experience to have, but at the same time, like, why put yourself, I mean, you know, it's safer than it's not, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, less, you know, more people land fine than die from it. But it's like, there's still like, you're still putting a factor of like, I mean, it's the same as anytime you get in a car. You're putting yourself at risk of dying anytime you walk out the door of your house. But it's just like, you have to look at what the level of risk is. And it's just like jumping out of a plane, parachute or not, like you're putting yourself at a huge risk that I don't have to put myself through that risk in my life at this point. Like, why do it?
Yeah. Well, what did Murr say from Impractical Jokers? He's like, yeah, even if the parachute opens, until you land on the ground, you can die. Like if you're 10 feet off, well, maybe not 10 feet, but let's say you're a tree's height off the ground still.
Yeah.
And the parachute somehow
can still kill you, yeah.
Parachute somehow like disconnects or something crazy happens and you fall from that height. You can easily die from that.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah.
Well, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same thought of like you can drown in 2 inches of water. It's like, you know,
I mean,
you can die from so many stupid things. It's ridiculous. But,
you have to really want to drown, I think, to drown in 2 inches of water.
Well, if you pass out face down in a puddle.
Yeah, but you wanted it.
You want it.
You're not passing out face down in a 2-inch puddle unless you want it, you know?
Yeah.
You wanted this.
Maybe you drank a bad IPA.
Maybe.
On Halloween.
So that puts me face down in a 2-inch puddle?
Could have been if you like drank a bad IPA and you passed out.
Like bad as in
puddle.
something was actually wrong with it, not like it just was gross because it's an IPA.
Yeah, you drank it, it was gross, and you're like, screw it.
I'm
just kill yourself.
I'm going to die now on purpose.
I could either throw this up or throw this out. This being this body. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I would kill myself over a bad beer. I mean, all beer is bad, so I would have killed myself a long time ago. Yeah.
I'm like, is this the best that beer is? It's not worth living. Or
no, so I remember we went up to Josh's cabin one year because we would do it all the time, and you know, everybody, they would always get like a keg and bring it up, and I brought something to drink, and it just wasn't good. It just tasted horrible. So they're like, just drink some beer. I'm like, I fucking hate beer. They're like, just do it. I'm like, if you drink it enough, you'll like it. I'm like, oh, God. Fuck it. At that point, for some reason, I'm like, I just want to get drunk with everybody else. Sure. I got a cup. I think it was just a regular glass.
You got peer pressured.
Filled it with beer. I drank half of it. I felt so fucking sick. I went to bed at 8 p.m.
Look what you guys did.
Everybody else was up until like 4 a.m. I was like, I felt so sick just drinking that little bit of amount. And that's when I basically made the determination of like, yeah, because my dad's got some sort of allergy to beer. I'm like, I had to have inherited it. I've never had it checked. But
yeah.
I'm like, I drank a half a glass of beer and I felt like shit. I'm like, I'm pretty sure whatever's in there, I'm probably allergic to it too. So plus it's just a good excuse to be like, oh, I can't drink the beer, guys. I'm allergic. Yep. Instead of being like, it's fucking gross, because then you get into an argument about it.
Well, I mean,
because nobody can accept that you don't like something.
I don't know if at this age people would get into an argument with you about it.
I don't know. It's the most interesting thing is like, I basically tell people that I just don't drink because I drink so rarely now that it's just easier to be like, I just don't drink.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably not going to get a drink if I go out. It's such a rare occasion for me to get a drink. But not drinking is the only thing you like of all drugs or substances that you can take. Drinking is the only one you have to explain to people why you don't.
Right.
Do it.
Yeah. They're like, oh, why don't you do heroin? Why not?
Yeah. Nobody's going to ever say like, oh, what do you mean you don't do coke? Oh, what do you like, even smoking pot. People aren't like, why don't you smoke pot? It's like, no, sorry, I don't smoke pot. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But no, I don't drink. Well, why don't you drink?
Yeah, that's true. That's the only one people seem to really care about.
It's the only one people ever question. It's just like, it gets to the point too where it's like, I almost feel like it's kind of rude to ask somebody, well, why don't you drink? Because you don't know. That person maybe is a recovering alcoholic.
They are. They could be. They could have had like.
You're like, they are.
Well, no, they could be. They could have a family member that, died of alcohol poisoning or something. Like so many things could be.
Like my father was an alcoholic or whatever. So I don't drink because I saw a lot of bad traits in him or whatever. It's like, it's that same whole thing of like, everybody's always worried about triggering things and people getting triggered and shit. It's like, if somebody says they don't drink, just be like, okay, that's cool. Don't start digging into why.
Was that alcohol or was it something else on Family Guy where they're like, alcohol killed my father and raped my mother?
I was smoking.
It was smoking? Okay. Dang.
Yeah. They were trying, because I think Peter started working for a tobacco company and they sent him to Congress or whatever to try to lobby. Yeah.
That's right.
Like, cigarettes killed my father. It raped my mother.
Classic Family Guy.
Classic Family. That was back in the early Family Guy days when it was still a show I watched.
Before they got canceled, right? Like
that was probably pre-cancellation and revival.
Man, maybe that's a good tale, a cautionary tale of be careful what you wish for, because they got Family Guy back and now it hasn't gone away.
Yeah.
Just like American Dad.
I remember.
And like, have you ever watched an episode of American Dad?
I've seen a few episodes of American Dad, and I literally will watch a whole episode of that show and then just be like, why did I watch this?
I feel like that's a show that is allowed to continue to be on television because it's created by the same people that created Family Guy. So no matter what
Same with the Cleveland show. Like, why was that? I don't know if that's still a thing, but I don't know why that ever became a thing.
Oh, I never saw a single episode of that, I know.
It's not. You haven't missed it.
Yeah. American Dad I couldn't get into either. Family Guy I fell off of a long time ago too.
Oh, forever ago. Like, I don't even know what season they're on now. I couldn't tell you if I've watched past like 7 or 8.
Yeah, same thing.
Or maybe,
same thing with South Park.
I've maybe seen some up to like up to season 10 or something like that, but it's like few and far between, and it's just like, I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff on that show that's still funny, but it just got to this point where everything was a cutaway scene or a flashback thing, or it became just a joke about it on itself, really, after a while. And
how long can that really last?
Yeah, I just got so bored with it. South Park, I couldn't tell you the last time I saw any South Park, but that show's still going super strong.
Yep, for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing really that's come by to replace any of it, which is going to just allow them to continue on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's popular enough. There are enough people that still watch, just like The Simpsons. There are enough people that still watch for it to still be on.
Yeah. Simpsons is just one of those shows too. Like, I never got into The Simpsons, and I'm sure, like, if I ever got to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm going to start just watching The Simpsons, I would definitely skip like probably at least the first season.
Yeah, it starts to hit its stride a little bit in the first season. The third season, I think, is pretty strong. 4, 5, and 6.
Then it's like until what, season 10, and then it's like, or does it go a little? Is it still good for a little while after 10? Like, I don't even know when. There's a point where Simpsons completely falls off the fucking face of the earth too. For most people, I should say.
I think I own through season 8. I don't think I have season 9, but if I do, then that's definitely the cutoff for me, because I know for a fact I don't have season 10, but it might be either 8 or 9, and even whatever the last one is that I own, even that one, there's some bits of it where I'm like, this is where it started to kind of decline. So, but as far as anything that's come out after that for that show, I've seen less than a handful of episodes here and there.
Right,
but
I just realized I'd been muted for a while, I believe.
I saw that you were, so I kept talking. Yeah.
because I kept asking you questions.
Oh, you were?
That weren't getting answered. And I'm like, why is he not answering me? He just keeps talking. I was saying, what are they on? Like 33 now or some shit? It's
At
deep.
least. I think they're
So you're saying for like 20 seasons of the show, you're just like, I don't care.
Yeah. I actually think they're on season 39 or 40.
Are they that far?
Yeah.
I thought it started in 89.
You know what? Maybe you're right. But I feel like it's higher than 33 though. But I don't know how long. Another show that, it's not a cartoon, but isn't, Always Sunny still going?
34 seasons.
That's so insane.
Sunny is still going, yeah.
So that can't be right because it
started in 89. It's on its 34th season.
Simpsons did. Okay, I thought you were just saying that Sunny is on its 34th season.
No.
I'm like,
Sunny's on like, they're like on 13 or something.
Okay. I guess that's reasonable. So they're on
15. They're on 15.
So Simpsons is on its 34th season. I should feel so much more. But that means that there's at least 24 seasons
that you
I don't care about. And the movie I thought was terrible.
The movie, yeah, I remember we went and saw that, and I was just kind of like, like it looked good. It looked animated nicely.
Yeah,
it looked a lot cleaner than the show because obviously they put a shit ton of money into it. But yeah, the movie just had a lot of dumb gags in it too that I'm just kind of like, all right.
Yeah, it came out way too late. If it had come out in the middle of seasons 5 and 6 or something, it would have been amazing because you still would have had some of those awesome beginning writers.
Yeah, I mean, if your show's running that long, it's gonna have a decline, and it's like I just feel like The Simpsons will just never end because people will continue to stay devoted to it. And it's just
it's just sort of like grandfathered in. It's just going to continue on, and
until all the actors that do those voices either die or they start replacing them all with people that sound at least similar.
Well, they can just use a computer now and just make.
They could.
I mean,
that'd be smart because there's actual stuff out there that you can make it learn a person's voice.
Yeah.
If you feed it enough audio of the person speaking, that you could type up something and it would say it and it would sound exactly like that person. Cordo Crew did an episode about it. And it was pretty nuts.
In the Kenobi show. Yeah. James Earl Jones didn't do anything to voice Darth Vader, but it sounded like him in the show. Yeah.
And they didn't have a person do it? It was computer generated?
I believe it was all computer generated. Yeah.
I wonder if they had to at least get his permission for that.
I'm sure they did.
They probably had to.
Yeah. But
use quote unquote use his voice or a similar.
Because I remember when Rogue One came out and people were like, "Oh, yeah, wow, he sounds like an old man now." And this is supposed to be before A New Hope. But yeah, because I remember watching Kenobi, I was like, Vader's voice it doesn't sound like it did in Rogue One. It doesn't sound so aged.
Interesting.
But then I heard that it was all computer.
Yeah, I haven't watched Kenobi, so I don't know. Well,
yeah, it was all right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Computers will take over the world.
Yeah. They'll make it so you can just create the image of an actor without them having to.
They're dude, they already got deep fakes down, and now it's like deep fakes are down, and now they got the voices down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actors will live forever. Tom Cruise will continue to be in every movie.
Yeah, every movie.
Well, every movie's in.
Can see you next Tuesday. Bye.
If you have a question, complaint, or threat for Sean or Matt, you can reach us on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at HSFamousPod, or you can email the show at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. No animals were pleasured during the making of this podcast, despite our best efforts. All hail our Lord and Savior, Greg Proops.